Bienvenue à toutes et tous pour l'interview d'un
to
couteau
all
dans
for
le cœur.
the
C'est un
interview
film et c'est une
for
première fois. Ce n'est pas un premier film, mais c'est une
Knife
première
Plus
fois
Heart,
en
and it's
compétition
the
officielle.
first time
Pour
in
ce
the
cinéaste
official
français que l'on découvre
competition
donc en
for
compétition
this
officielle. Yann Gonzalez,
French
bonjour.
filmmaker, Yann Gonzales.
Ravi de vous accueillir avec votre magnifique casting. Bonjour Vanessa
Welcome
Paradis.
with your wonderful cast, Vanessa Paradis. For you too, I think it's the first time you're in the official competition with this film, I believe. Yes.
Moran à vos côtés. Bonjour.
Kate Moran.
Bienvenue. Et Nicolas Maury.
And Nicolas Maury.
À tous les quatre. Merci d'être là.
Welcome
Comme
to
c'est une
all of
première fois,
you.
on va peut-être revenir sur ce moment
Since this
de
is
la
a
projection
first,
qui a eu lieu
maybe
hier
we
soir,
can
et
go
cette
back
fin de
to the
projection,
screening last night and
avec les
the
applaudissements.
end
Qu'est-ce qu'on
with the
ressent à ce moment-là, Yann
applause.
Gonzalez, quand on vient présenter pour la première fois un film de
How do
compétition,
you
c'est quoi
feel
votre
at that
pression
moment when you're in the competition for the first time? Yes, there was a lot of pressure, but we're a little dissociated from ourselves. We're in a dream-like situation. It's a very strange feeling. Did you stay in the auditorium throughout the screening? Yes, I wanted to see the reaction. I wanted to feel the reaction of the audience, even if it's always painful because I've seen the film too many times. I know every detail. And Vanessa, what was your feeling during and after the screening? Oh, it was joy, more joy than fear, because the entire cast and crew were there. There were 48 of us. Almost all of us were there to climb the steps together. At one time, we took photographs of the four of us, and we turned around and we saw the entire crew, cast and crew, after 1 year rather, after the end of the shoot. And it was a wonderful experience, and it was a joy last night. And pressure too, Kate and Nicolas. It's the official competition. It's the official screening. It's true that it's a very moving moment and very intimidating to be in this iconic auditorium, because you've been working with Yann for a long time, since his beginnings with short films. So it must be particularly compelling to be with him. And I climbed the steps with him, and I said, it's amazing to be here. And Nicolas, it was wonderful, very deeply moving, a little stiff, but this is such a privileged moment, but it's something that brings people together, and that was great and very moving to be
Pour
with
être
Yann
avec Yann, il
the
fallait
others.
d'abord que Yann ait une idée, une
So
envie
to
de
be
cinéma avant
with
d'arriver ici.
Yann,
D'où est venue l'idée
you
de
had
cette
to have the
productrice
idea
de
of
porno gay à la fin des années
this
70, de
producer
cet univers
of
là bien
gay
particulier. Alors, on
porn
connaît
films in the
votre
1970s.
univers
We
cinématographique, j'ai envie de
know
dire, mais cette
your
histoire-là, cette
cinematographic
envie-là, d'où elle est
world,
venue?
but what gave you the idea of this story? It's inspired by a real person, a violent, alcoholic person. I wanted to make a film with electricity, a little wild, and who let this character guide me with the screenwriter without setting any boundaries. I think it's a completely free film. And when did you think of Vanessa Paradis? As soon as the screenplay was written, because we didn't really know who would play this role. And when I thought of Vanessa, it seemed obvious, and when I met her, it just confirmed that. So what interested you in this character, this strong character? This film is a real gift for actors. So for me, I felt so fortunate that he actually thought of me and offered me such a role, because it's a very colorful character, which requires great intensity, and who was motivated by her heart and her guts and love. And I think nothing is better than being motivated by love. So
Vanessa, elle apporte
what did Vanessa
l'amour sur un
Paradis
plateau,
bring
l'amour
you? It's
total, l'amour
love,
généreux.
total
Voilà,
love,
c'est un
generous
être
love.
d'amour, Vanessa.
She is a creature
Et puis
who's
voilà, elle a ce
breathes
visage
love
qui me
and
rappelle
her
celui des
face, which
sardiniers, avec quelque
reminds
chose
me of
d'ultra
the
expressif, d'intense.
silent film stars
Voilà,
and
c'est
her
cinégénique,
presence,
quoi. C'est quelque chose qui est
and
rare
she's
aujourd'hui.
really
Je trouve
cinegenic, which is something rare. She just has star material, old-fashioned star material, old-fashioned stars from the 20s and 30s, the stuff of dreams. And how do you prepare for this film? Of course, there is the breakup between Vanessa and Kate, the characters played by them. How do you work with Yann Gonzalez? Do you rehearse?
Moi, par exemple, je suis
Well,
rentrée dans ce
I
personnage, dans ce rôle
personally,
par le corps. J'ai travaillé avec un
I
très
worked
physiquement dans une salle
from
de
a
sport,
very
ce qui me ressemble pas du tout.
physical time in a I had to do workouts, which is something I don't really do because I knew I would be at one time I'm whipped on a cross, so I had to show my body. So I had to prepare my body. So you have to prepare psychologically too, but when you've built up your muscles, you're a little more resistant. And I also prepared by watching porn films, cellulose films,
avait projeté à la Cinémathèque,
and one that Yann had screened at the Cinematheque. That's called Équation Inconnue by Dietrich de Weser. And it was really interesting for me to see that that was what Anne and Lois were doing, that they were filming real bodies, and this kind of porn cinema no longer exists. Did you watch these old films before making the film? How did you start? Had you thought about the character? We talked a lot about the character. We read the script once, but it was a little bit strange. We were in your house. We didn't read the entire screenplay. And Yann showed me different films, Brian, De Palma, Zamovsky. I can't remember all of them, but we talked a great deal about what motivated this woman who was violent, alcoholic, but most of all, she was in love and desperate, ready to do anything to get her love back. And the other things that are very important in this character are not what drive her. And Yann is a wonderful director. He's excellent. And gradually, at the start, perhaps I was looking for this intensity, and Yann drew me back to emotion. But this is a character who's very different from me, but we have some things in common, and so there. Did you rehearse with Vanessa, Kate? Because how do you do this? How do you work? No, we didn't rehearse at all. There were certain things that were more choreographic in nature, and so we did have to rehearse them. But with Yann, we have to approach, you have to have a fresh approach to such scenes. In this couple,
un peu éphémère, en fait, c'était quelque chose
certain things are ephemeral, but there are things that you can't do, but you can't get away from, and the connection was made very quickly between us.
Yann Gonzalez,
How
depuis ses débuts.
have you seen Yann
m'étonne
Gonzales
avec chaque nouveau
over the
étape
years?
du
Well, he
travail,
amazes
que je
me
trouve
with
avec
each
lui,
new film because he
avec
is
chaque,
someone who
avec chaque
grows
film. C'est
and
quand je
changes
pense
with
aux
each
premières
film. When I
courts-métrages
think of the
jusqu'à maintenant, il
from
y
the
a des
first
choses tellement
short films to
différentes
now,
qui
there
sont transformées
are
avec
so
son
many
envie,
things that
avec sa façon
change
d'écrire et tout ça, mais il y
the
a
way
aussi
he
un chemin
writes
qui est
and what
purement
he's
Yann,
looking for, but
qu'on peut voir
he
comme,
has a
et
very
qu'on voit
singular
juste se mettre de plus en plus en hauteur.
pathway, a
Et oui, un
course,
chemin qui le mène jusqu'à la
and
compétition officielle,
so
un
this
chemin à part, un
path
beau
has
chemin. Yann
taken
Gonzalez,
him
merci.
to the official competition
Merci
in
d'être là
Cannes.
avec nous. Merci
Thank
Vanessa,
you
Paradis, Kate, Moran,
to
Nicolas,
all
Maury.
of
Merci
you for
beaucoup.
being here.
C'est donc un couteau dans le
And
cœur
so
en
this
compétition
is
officielle. On va
knife
continuer
plus
bien sûr
heart,
à
un
parler de ce
couteau
film
dans
dans
le
quelques
cœur.
minutes en
And of
conférence
course,
de
the
presse.
press
À tout à l'heure.
conference is about